What is up, my friends? It is Friday night. Your weekend has officially started, and I hope that life finds you all in good spirits. Mark, straight away, gifting a membership. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate that, mate. Friday evening. I hope that you're all looking forward to the weekend. Obviously, we know we've got Spurs on Sunday. It feels ages since we've played. This getting knocked out of Europe malarkey frees up a little bit of time on the training pitch for Kloppo, but it also makes us wait a week for a game. So, worst news is after this weekend, we've got 8 days to wait till the next game, but cracking couple of games coming up. Spurs, Villa, and then, of course, finishing up with Wolves at home. Wow, Brian's in. Let me just get settled in here before we give the big spiel. Brian, thank you, mate. 50 memberships. Straight away. Your weekend has started, my friends. Brian, thank you so much, mate. And to everyone that's been gifted a membership, enjoy, and thank you for Brian for that one. Loads for us to get through tonight. I don't know if you've seen Jurgen Klopp's press conference today, but he wasn't pulling any punches, and I liked it. I like hearing him speak with a bit more freedom. But there you go. So to those people that have gotten a membership there off Brian, remember that membership means that you get use of the custom emojis. You also get the Anfield Agenda logo beside your name, and you get a couple of other bits and pieces that should hopefully help your enjoyment of the streams. And again, thank you so much to Brian for that. Incredible generosity as always, sir. And Mark's jumped in with another one as well. Mark, thank you. Keep up the moves. I wish I had them moves, man. I wish I had them moves that the cartoon Craig has, but unfortunately, I don't. I've got some moves. Maybe you see them at some point, but Brian said great press conference. It was, mate. It was a brilliant press conference today from Jurgen, full of quotable little bits and pieces, and we will go through it over the course of the next couple of hours. But yeah, it was a belter from Kloppo today, and I like it. I like that he's able to speak now, I guess, with a bit more freedom. He spoke about the Salah situation. He spoke, of course, about the fixture congestion, which he's, in fairness to Jurgen, been consistent of for his time at the club. There's been a couple of crazy transfer stories doing the rounds as well. And of course, we have to speak about Arne Slot's press conference at Feyenoord today. You may have seen it. Gary Cotterill, I think it was, from Sky Sports, was there. Asked him a couple of questions, and you could just see the big cheesy, cheeky smirk on Arne Slot's face that he is very excited about the prospect of becoming the next Liverpool coach. So, loads to get through. Craig, Jurgen looked happy, said Colin Brooks. I think it's probably because the pressure's off a little bit, you know. I hope that he enjoys these last 3 games. Look, it's not great that we're not in the real title shake-up. It's not great that we were knocked out of Europe, but it is nice to see Jurgen with a smile on his face, and it's nice to see that bit of freedom, and I hope that extends to the squad. I do hope that we see that same freedom on the pitch at the weekend against Spurs, now that I guess the pressure is somewhat off the boys. In Jurgen's press conference today, actually, with regards to injury updates, what I can say straight off the bat is Conor Bradley has trained and is in contention for the weekend. Virgil van Dijk could be a little bit of a doubt, but we'll give you more information on that as when we get it. And Diogo Jota is still not fit enough to jump into the matchday squad or get back fully training. So that's pretty much where we're at with injuries. Other than that, it's Thiago and Matip. You're going to batter the Spuds, let them have it up well, you're a Chelsea fan, so I guess I've got to read it out for you, but I'm obviously not supporting your support of Chelsea, but I do support your support of the channel, mate. Colin, and always lovely to see you, Fidget06. I hope you're happy with your win during the week, which I'm sure you are. Mark gifted another membership as well. Wow, thank you so much. Right, so, didn't Klopp have a pop at TNT? Oh, he did. He did indeed, and I'm going to read it out to you. So this isn't it in its entirety, but this is some sections that I found quite funny from Kloppo's press conference today. So he said, I had a discussion only the other day with colleagues from our favourite TV channel, which I will definitely not watch again, TNT, and he said, it's always a conversation they have saying that they pay you, they give the money to football. It's not like that. I really don't see it like that. It's exactly the other way around. Football pays them. Years ago, I think we had 4 English teams in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, and then we talked and said, yeah, the quality of the Premier League is making more of it, but we have to change that approach. That's how it is. You always think when I speak about it, it's because of our last situation. We lost against blank, blank, blank. No, we didn't lose against West Ham, but because of the last game, it's a general problem. Nothing to do with our schedule now. Our schedule is alright, it's good. Can we use that? I don't know, we'll see. But this line is the one for me that really clinches it. Jurgen said that they dare gave Thursday, Sunday or Wednesday, Saturday at 12:30 is a crime. I was actually waiting for Amnesty International to go to them. So again, you can see Klopp doesn't like this midweek, Saturday early morning kickoff stuff. And we have certainly been the subject of more 12:30 kickoffs after international breaks than any other team in the Premier League during Jurgen Klopp's time at Liverpool. So I think it's fair of them to finally start having a little pop back at TNT, who have gone out of their way, whether they want to admit that or not, to make it difficult as possible for Liverpool. And as Klopp said, he's not going to be sad to see the back of them, and he won't be tuning into TNT Sports anymore. So he's got to be begrudging himself of that wisdom from the likes of Rio Ferdinand and so many other fantastic pundits. He says absolutely not in any way in a sarcastic manner. Make sure you like and subscribe, said Mark. Yes, please do. So, look, I did record the Arne Slot video that Ben is going to be editing, and that should hopefully pop up tomorrow evening for you guys. Tomorrow's my day off, so no live content from me tomorrow, but we do have that Arne Slot video coming up for you guys. And if you haven't, if you haven't watched it already, the preview is also up on the channel, so do give that a look if you get a chance. Klopp has rattled the broadcaster, said Darwizzy, and he's right to. He's right to, mate. They have got away with too much for my liking over the years of Klopp being here. And this isn't really a tribal thing, because you've seen other managers, the various United managers have been talking about it. Pep Guardiola's been speaking about it. Mikel Arteta's spoken about it. And they're all right. Take aside the tribalism, they're all right. The Premier League has not done its best to look after its clubs, has not done its best to try and improve the product to make sure that English teams can continue to go deep into the Champions League or the Europa League. So, yeah, whatever way you think about it, I always applaud any manager that sticks up for player welfare. Craig, just been on Anfield Sector's playback channel. I have no idea what a playback channel is. They say we're in for a left back. Thoughts? I can understand that thought process, to be fair. I don't have any definitive news myself on a left back, but I was thinking yesterday, because I'm thinking about another Arne Klopp video I'm going to do to start the next week, where I'm gonna basically put in a couple of summer transfers and say what we may look like next season under Arne Slot. And I was thinking about the left back situation actually for that video. So yeah, I can see it. I can see why we would look. There's been lots of stuff over the past week or two as well. I say lots, a few bits and pieces, if I'm being really honest, about Kostas Tsimikas. There was one piece in the Echo that said maybe Kostas is a bit susceptible to being sold this summer, and I wouldn't say no if Liverpool were to look to move Kostas on. Stephen Landry, how are you, Stephen? And nice to see you back in as well, Stephen. Thank you, mate. The other day was a bit cranky of me, Stephen, so and I'm sure you did take offence to it, because it would have been reasonable to. So I want to apologise, Stephen, for that the other day, mate. Good to see you back in. And yes, Klopp did speak the truth, Stephen. You were spot on, mate, and I very much backed everything he said today. Simon Jordan is a clown, said Rachel Todd, and I'm not going to put up any argument to that, Rachel, my friend. I'm certainly in that camp myself. He does occasionally make some sense, but a lot of the time I think he just talks sensationalist drivel. But I wouldn't expect anything less from Talk Sport. What's up with the title? In what sense? You're going to have to give me a bit more than that. I mean, the title's fairly self-explanatory, and we have spoken about it. Klopp thinks it's a crime that Liverpool or any clubs have to play the Wednesday 12:30 Sunday type stuff. That's a direct quote from Jurgen. He actually said, surprised that they hadn't called in Amnesty International for it, which is just box office. Can we get an Arne Klopp counter on the screen? I don't know what you mean by a counter. Do you mean a countdown? I mean, I can't do that because we don't know when it's going to be unveiled. Right, let me go through some more of your... has anyone seen this City letter yet? No. And I was asking around today about that, actually, Alan, because there's been some murmurings that they've sent out some... I want to say cease and desist type letters to people, but I've yet to see one, and I certainly checked my post box today, and there's none yet in my post box. So rest assured, if I do receive anything from Manchester City's lawyers, I will absolutely be reading it out on a stream, because I don't agree with the attitude of going after people. But let's wait and see. Until we see somebody actually read out these letters, you got to take it with a pinch of salt. And there was also this crazy post today from some random car cleaning or maintenance company or something that said that City of Apparently already got away with the charges. I mean, no journalist I've been able to get in contact with has backed that up. The hearing, as far as I'm aware, hasn't actually taken place, but again, let's wait and see. So I want to ask you guys a straightforward question, right? And it's going to be the first poll of the night, because I've been asking my Discord group about this a bit, and we've been chatting about our love of the game. And I want to ask you sincerely, has everything that's gone on over football in the last year or two taken away from your love of the game in any way, shape or form? Because I've got to be honest, my love of Liverpool is never up for doubt. But I found myself in recent times starting to watch less and less non-Liverpool related football, because I'm just getting sick to death of IFAB, the lawmakers, FIFA, and everything about the game. It just feels like it's going in a direction further and further away from the fans. And that was something that Jurgen touched on today in his press conference as well, basically saying, do FIFA and those in power really care about the game? Do they really care about the fan experience of it or the welfare of the players? And there's something to it, because my love of the game has definitely taken a knock over the past few years. So I'm going to ask you that question. 1 second. Simple one. Have you lost any of your love of football in recent years? Now, I'm not going to say because of X, Y, or Z. It can be because of anything that you want. It can be because of the financial stuff. It can be because of the player welfare stuff. It doesn't really matter. It can be because of the IFAB, PGMOL stuff. I just want to see if anybody who, would be like me, and I'd have been a football addict. I have started to watch a little bit less over the years because it winds me up more and more now. And the game feels a little bit more grubby and a little bit less fair is probably a word I'd use. Next week for Arnie, that's what they are saying, said Alex. Well, today in his press conference with Feyenoord, he certainly said again that he believes that the agreement will be soon and that he will speak more when the announcement is made. You could see from his press conference today, he was just beaming with smiles and pride and happiness, and he looked really excited to become the next Liverpool manager, and I'm certainly excited for him to be the next Liverpool manager. Or sorry, head coach. I should stop saying manager, although he himself said today, you can call me Arne, you can call me a manager, you can call me a head coach. He doesn't care what you call him as long as he gets to work with the players on the training ground and make the decisions about starting 11s and stuff like that, and I like that attitude as well. Barry has come in and dropped 50 gifted memberships as well, so that's 103 gifted memberships we've had on the stream already, and thank you so much to Barry for your generosity again, sir, to Brian, of course, to Mark and everybody else. I love it. I love seeing that most of our chat now has a membership badge beside their name. It's class, so thank you for that, Barry. Right, let's get into some football talk. So I read an interesting little piece in The Athletic. It's not so much specifically Liverpool related, but I want to get your opinion on it. So this piece said, I'm going to reword that. A lawyer representing FIFA in the ongoing antitrust lawsuit filed against it by a New York-based sports promoter said in a federal court on Thursday that a rule change that would allow domestic league matches to be played abroad could come before the end of the year. Now, we spoke about this a little bit in recent times on the channel. I don't want the Premier League to take up this opportunity if it becomes available. So firstly, FIFA would have to, I guess, give the nod to allow that to happen. But again, I would ask, who are they looking after? Because they're not looking after the fans that buy their season tickets and support teams. They're looking after the bottom line again. So if there is an opportunity for games to be played outside of any domestic league, I certainly hope the Premier League don't take it up. It's a joke. Look, I know we've seen it in other sports, and the NFL have looked to go around Europe and, grow the NFL, and that's their own business. But I don't like the idea of a Premier League game or a La Liga game or a Bundesliga game or whatever league being played in, it doesn't really matter. Pick a country, Australia, Malaysia, Philippines, Canada, America, Mexico, it doesn't matter to me. it's ridiculous and it's greedy. And to kind of follow on from what Jurgen said in his press conference today, somebody has to start giving a damn about the sport, because more money isn't always the right answer. You know, football is okay as it is. We don't need to keep looking to get more money out of it, to rinse fans for more money. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. That is why I like the MLS, but may look more into the USL here in America, said Kyle. If it happens, then Britain has truly fallen. I mean, it's got nothing to do with really Britain as such, mate. You know, this agreement from FIFA would be to allow any league to do it. So we've seen a couple of competitions. So I think the Italian Super Cup and the Spanish Super Cup, I think they're played abroad, if my memory's right. And I just don't like it. I don't like the greed of it. You know, and also if you look at it, let's say America, just as an example. Peak time in America is not going to work too well for English fans, is it? So if a game was brought over to America, again, it's just not right. FIFA just need to stop. Somebody needs to look after the game and its fans and the players. Because whatever we think about a game being played in America or Canada, Mexico or wherever, the players are also going to have to fly all the way over there for this game, play the game, fly all the way back. And that is not going to help player welfare or recuperation in between games. Have I spoken about the jersey already? Yesterday, mate, but happy to speak about it again, if you'd like. Happy to bring it up and speak about it again. I'm not a fan, personally. I'm definitely not a fan of the price point of the jersey. Nike are just... I want to choose my words carefully because I want to show somewhat of respect to the company that work with Liverpool, but I've seen other channels who've obviously been sent the free Nike shirts having to toe the company line and, you know, give it the whole, oh, it's great. It's shite. It's horrible. I don't like it one bit. And zero effort has gone into that from Nike, in my opinion. And the sooner the better we're rid of them and back to Adidas, I'll be happier. I don't like it. You know, and we ran a poll on it yesterday, actually, and it was 50-50. Actually, I think it was 51-49 in favour of it, but it was really close. So you can see you're never going to please anybody with a kit design. And what appeals to me may not appeal to somebody else and vice versa. But I think overall, looking at the general package of what we've gotten from Nike, it's been underwhelming to say the least. And some of the stuff that is semi-decent, like we were chatting again, me and Andy were chatting in our Discord group last night, and Andy showed me a picture of a new walkout jacket or a tracksuit top. And he said, what do you think of this, Craig? And I said, that's nice, Andy. That's nice. I used to buy them all the time when New Balance did them. I used to buy all the walkout or tracksuit tops. And they were about 70-75 euro. So I said to Andy, how much is that? And he said, it worked out at 140 euro or about £125 for the walkout jacket. A tracksuit top. It's absolute scumbaggery of the highest order. Who do they think they're trying to kid? £125 for a tracksuit top. It's disgusting. James Pearce put out a post as well, speaking about the increase in the cost of the jerseys. The infant one had the biggest increase, going up over 15%, I think, to £52 sterling for an infant kit. The adult basic stadium jersey is £80. And that's Liverpool apparently selling them under Nike's recommended retail price. It's disgusting. And all you're going to do is drive fans onto other sites, let's say, to find cheaper alternatives. Because you're trying to fleece them. And I don't like this one bit. And the sooner the better. And I'm not going to sit here and say I think Adidas are going to be giving the shirts away. But I just don't feel there's been much effort put in by Nike to really make a push for Liverpool. So let's see what you guys think about it. The new kit is an abomination, said Tom. I think it's a solid jersey, said Samuel. Tracksuit top isn't made of gold, said Mark. Not quite, Mark, not quite. Freedom said, I paid $420 per ticket in August to see Liverpool Man United. It's the hottest time of the year here then as well. That's per ticket. $420 per ticket. That's mental. Nike have always been a joke, said the Red Machine. I used to order footy boots from them, 150 plus. It was ridiculous. It's crazy. Like, £80 for a football shirt is just silly. Stargirl, thank you for your super chat, my friend. Stargirl said, the stadiums are just as famous as the clubs. You can't replicate the Anfield atmosphere in another country. It's okay pre-season. Yeah, of course, pre-season, absolutely. The further and the far, as far and wide as clubs can go in pre-season to meet their fans from around the world. And I love some of the stuff Liverpool put on when they travel over to America or Australia. They're really good at interacting with fans, local supporters, clubs. That's all brilliant. That's fantastic. But not the real games. Not the Premier League games or a cup game. Not that. That should be reserved for England. Finty Tin said, haven't bought a replica shirt in years. Fritz Frank said, the kit is growing on me. The 9-10 home kit, 10-10 away kit, 7-10 third kit, 1,000 out of 10 goalkeeper kit, said Brett Young. So for me, from what I've seen, Brett, home kit out of 10, 5. Away kit, I'd probably give it an 8 or a 9 if you turn the Nike tick the right direction. Third kit, 4 out of 10. Goalkeeper's kit is really nice. I do like the goalkeeper's kit. I think it's a nice pattern. Burra said, Craig, I love your content, mate. Thank you. You're really kind. Look, there's been loads of lovely people drop in with kind words like that. Thank you for being a member for 3 months, mate. I don't know what's happened on our channel since we've come back to YouTube, and we're now heading towards 1 year back on YouTube, and we've seen unprecedented growth in that year. Our channel base has gone up nearly 100,000 subscribers, and our streams are flying. So whatever's happened, I really appreciate it. And as I say every day, I come on here looking forward to the streams, and the kindness that you guys show to me and each other is just lovely, and it really makes a big difference in my day-to-day life. So thank you. Apart from obviously the financial part of the channel, which is obviously doing really well as well, which has allowed us to obviously bring in and hire Ben. It's amazing, and you guys are giving me the opportunity to live a dream life, and I don't want to let you down. Basically, I want to just keep trying my best. Christian, my friend, how are you? Lovely to see you in. Christian Pivaral said, bring Adidas back. You'll never walk alone. Much love. Yes, I can't wait. Well, Footy Headlines did put out a post last night to show Liverpool and Adidas side by side. They said the news you've all been waiting for. So I think we will get the official announcement soon enough. MLS jerseys are $160 for authentic and $100 for replica for no name. I know that. I've looked and bought a few MLS shirts over the years, mate. But what I will say is, I don't know how to word this without saying it the way I'm going to say it. So please, I don't mean any offense by this. The cultures are different. So some of our friends in the Discord group have shown me like $350 New York Jets shirts with Aaron Rodgers on the back of them. And that is just disgusting. And it feels like in America, you guys are fleeced worse than us. So you've mentioned there about the MLS shirts. Even look at some of the similar to box office event for a fight. You know, the Fury Usyk fight's coming up, and that's £25 here in England, and $27.95 here in Ireland. You guys in America always pay far more for stuff like that. So I get it. I understand that when we moan about the price of stuff, sometimes you guys are like, it's cheaper over here. I do get it, but I just don't understand how you guys pay for any of that stuff. It's over the top. It's so expensive, and you do, you know, my thoughts are with you, because it's mad what you're asked to pay for some of the stuff. Rob said, Craig, I like Ben. He's a good lad. He's a lovely guy. Very talented as well, and very, very good to have on Team Anfield Agenda, you know. He was showing me a demo today of the back-end system that we were having built, and it looks fun. We're going to be able to do some really innovative stuff next season with changing around formations, bringing up individual players' stats, cool emojis and stuff when we've got goals and VAR and all that stuff. Loads of stuff that we're working away on with our friends at Lineup Builder, and I can't wait. You reckon football games will go pay-per-view? They tried that. So, alright, I'm older than probably a lot of people in the chat. But I swear I remember a time, and this must be going back quite a while, because I was still living in Dublin at the time. I swear there used to be pay-per-view options for Premier League games. You used to be able to buy an individual game. They knocked it on the head quite quickly, if my memory's right. But what I would like to see happen, mate, is not a pay-per-view. I'd like to see a Netflix-style service where... Because I got to be honest here, I'm getting sick of the broadcasters. I'm getting sick of all of them. I'm getting sick of having the woke stuff rammed down my throat by Sky. I'm getting sick of TNT and their 12:30 kickoffs. I'm getting sick of being fleeced for TV packages that have 90% of stuff I couldn't give a damn about. So yeah, for me, I'd like to see the Premier League sell their own rights and sell it across the board and have a Netflix-style service or a WWE-style service where you can pay your monthly premium, you go in, you can watch every game, you can have fan zone-type commentary, you can have back catalogue of goals and games, some behind-the-scenes Premier League-type content. I mean, I think it could be brilliant and remove this need for everybody to have so many TV packages. It's crazy. I think we need to... I think you said sell Jota. You just said, I think we need to. Jota always been injured. I get where you're coming from. It is frustrating that Diogo has had a few injuries. I get you. I wouldn't sell him personally because I think we may see quite a bit of upheaval this summer as it is. So, yeah, it is frustrating though because we know how good he is. So I did ask you guys, has your love of football in any way taken a hit in recent years? Or have you lost your love of football anyway in recent years? And so far, 2/3 of you guys are saying, yes, I have lost some of my love of football. Tom Judge, how are you, Tom? Thank you for 9 months membership, mate. Thank you. Said, evening, Craig. Hope you're well. I am. I'm good, thank you. All right, Craig, said Mr. Relevant. How much faith do you have in Slot? It's a tough question to answer because I don't know what you mean by fate. I'm excited by the prospect of it, but I don't know. I can't sit here and say I know for a fact that we're going to be successful or we're not going to be successful. I have an open mind. I think that's probably Mr. Relevant, probably the fairest way I can be. I'm definitely going into the new managers, a new coach. I'm going into his era with an open mind. I'll get behind him straight away, and I think we're going to enjoy his style and his brand of football. I think we're going to enjoy him as a character and as a person. But I don't know what is realistic for next season. I tell you what, the fairest answer I can give you is I'm more concerned about what we do in the transfer market than the manager. I think the manager will be fine. I think he will shake it up a little bit. We won't see an overnight complete change of how we play. But I think we're going to see lots of attacking football, high energy, and some antics from him on the sidelines. I mean, one of the things when I was recording the video about Arne Slot today that I highlighted was his dislike of poor refereeing decisions as much as the rest of us. And, you know, in an interview, he went out of his way to speak about how we can spend the whole week coaching a team, looking towards a game, and he thinks he has the game won with the way that he sets teams up. So then a referee comes in and messes it all up with a stupid decision. And he said that's his biggest annoyance. And I think I'm going to like a lot of what Arne Slot has to say. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it, but I'm more concerned about the owners and the transfer market. What else have we got? Who do I think Liverpool should sign this summer? That's a very interesting question. And as I said, I have been doing what we might look like next season under Slot video. So what might we look like? I mean, Diamonde. I'd like to see us sign him. The right-sided centre-back from Sporting Lisbon. I wouldn't say no to Inacio, but I think Diamonde to partner Virgil would be an astute piece of business if Liverpool could pull that off. From a wide attacking sense, that was a difficult one for me when I was sitting there thinking about that last night. Because I looked at the likes of your Iñaki Williams, I looked at the Pedro Netos of this world, the Elises of this world. So I do think we need a wide player. I just don't know who. I don't know if Bakayoko is that guy because I don't know enough about him. I haven't watched enough of PSV Eindhoven. In defensive midfield, you know, you could look at the likes of Zubamendi from Sociedad. There were other ones around Europe. I mean, it's difficult to talk about transfers when we don't know how much of a budget that... I don't even want to say Arne Slot because it could well be Edwards and Hughes that make these decisions. So I think we need 3 signings minimum. But that's before we talk about maybe losing some of the players like a Virgil or a Salah or, heaven forbid, a Trent. Would you take Mbappe but we couldn't sign anyone? No. Because we'd have the same problem again. Scoring goals usually hasn't been a problem for Liverpool. But what made us title winners and really title contenders, in my opinion, has been the solidity at the back that we had. Not this season as much, but when we were stronger at the back and we were conceding less, I feel like that's really what pushed us on. So no, I wouldn't take Mbappe if it meant no more signings. Freedom said, my problem is I still love the step up to goals, but crazy extra times and VAR and refs are killing it for me. It's still a beautiful game. The game itself is a beautiful game, mate, as you've said, and there are things that we can see to improve, the likes of VAR and that, but I get where you're coming from again on the points you've raised. Eddie Cox Wilkins, thank you, mate, for gifting a membership. Very kind of you, Eddie. Thank you so much. Right, there was a story that caught my eye just before we were getting ready to go live. Actually, Ben sent it on to me. It comes via Marca via caught offside, so take it with a pinch of salt, and I really do mean take it with a pinch of salt. But the story was Barcelona have decided to cash in on Pedri, as that would enable them to recruit some players in the summer transfer window. Liverpool are leading the race to sign the Spanish midfielder. Arsenal are interested too. Thoughts? Thoughts, my friends? Pedri, what are you saying? Realistic, not realistic, good fit, not a good fit, and how much do you think the price tag would be? Whenever I see Liverpool linked to a Barcelona player, I automatically just think bullshit. To be honest with you, I do. But what say you guys? Do you believe it? And would you take Pedri? The Red Machine said the spine was Fabinho, Matip, Van Dijk, not Salah, Mane, Firmino. Building from the back is very key. Thoughts on Ollie Watkins, said Tansel. Brilliant. Getting better and better and better. I'll tell you what really impressed me. That goal Ollie Watkins scored against Olympiacos, that was a very, very good goal from Watkins. But I don't... If they get Champions League, I don't think there's any chance anybody's able to prize Watkins away from there. Not what we need, said Pranav with regards to Pedri. Pro said, imagine if we get him. This would be a huge signing, about 120 million, said Daniel. They're not even selling him in the first place, said Toes. Again, mate, all I'm saying to you is a report from Marca that said they look to cash in. Now, they probably will have to sell a couple of players that fans might not necessarily be happy with. I don't know who it may be, but I don't envision Liverpool being at the table. So for me, I would put this link certainly on a certain island somewhere. Wasn't his release clause ridiculous? Yes, but release clauses are meant as a deterrent, but they're not the be all and end all. Like, they stick in a £1 billion release clause just because they don't want the Neymar situation to happen again, where PSG came in when Neymar had, I think it was a 250 million release clause that they thought nobody would pay, and then PSG went, hold my beer, lads, we're about to pay this money. So that's why they've started throwing in these crazy release clauses, but nobody expects a club to go in and pay £1 billion for a player. Pedri injury prone, that was one of the concerns I definitely had, and I have to be honest with you, where's the money, John? That was one of the first things that popped into my head. I was thinking, yeah, Barca are looking to pull the wool perhaps over some eyes. It always concerns me when a player who's had a couple of injuries then gets moved on. It definitely feels like there might be something more to that. We desperately need a clinical forward, said Stephen Landry. I do agree with you, Stephen, but I'm not ready personally to give up on Darwin just yet. So, some more news from today that I got to bring to you guys. 1 second. Oh yeah, Jurgen Klopp on TNT. This was one of my favourite lines today as well. He said, will there be a lawsuit because I mentioned them in a negative way? Anybody want to guess who he was talking about there? Lewis Steele said, this Jurgen Klopp press conference is very last day at school, no rules vibes. I believe they call it quiet quitting. And then Klopp also said, I had a conversation with my favourite TV channel, TNT, who I'll never be watching again. So yeah, I like that Klopp has his finger on the pulse. And certainly this news about a certain football club sending out a load of lawsuits has travelled far and wide if our gaffer is speaking about it. Thabo, thank you, mate. Appreciate you. Darwin needs a competitor. Yes, agreed. And I would love to see us bring in somebody to put the... Do you know, maybe Jayden Dan's going to be that guy, though. You know? Maybe we look at it next season, Jayden Dan a little bit older, and he could be the guy to come in and fight with Darwin for the central spot. You know, the more I've thought about transfers over the past few days, the more I've kind of had to stop myself in my tracks at times and go, stop it, Craig. Because I found myself looking to the academy more and more in my thought processes when I'm thinking about who we could bring in. And I feel like I'm falling into that Michael Edwards FSG trap, so I've second-guessed myself somewhat there. Barca stuck with Lewandowski till 2026, said Kyle. What have we got? We're not getting ENQUIRIES, said Sultan. I don't think we are either. I mean, somebody in the chat must have brought him up because it's not one that I'd seen. What's this story here? Oh yeah, we've done that one already. So, really quickly, let me just end this poll. 63% of you guys said you have lost some of your love of football over recent years. I'm going to wait for that to get to 1,000 votes because it's at 997. So we need 3 more votes. And then we'll end that poll. So, I do want to ask you guys what positions you think we need to strengthen, and for some suggestions. There we go. We've got the 1,000 votes. Pranav said, Craig, I saw your preview video. You predicted Gakpo to start up front. I think Darwin could have a field day running in behind with Spurs' defensive line if he stays on side. So, again, I've no issues, mate, if he gives Darwin the start. He has to start coming good eventually. And as you've mentioned with the high line, but it could also go the other way, Pranav. He could have a field day with the high line, but have, shall we say, a poor day on the shooting range. You know, it's no good getting all these chances if he doesn't bury them. But you are right, it could also be a confidence inspirer if indeed he does hit form. So for those of you that haven't seen my preview, I'll happily spoil it for you by telling you my team. Off the top of my head, it was Alisson in goal, Conor Bradley at right back, Robertson at left back, Kanade and Van Dijk as the 2 centre backs. I changed it up a little bit in midfield because I thought we need to look to the future. So I put Alexis McAllister in the DM position, not because I think that's his best position, but because I wanted to fit somebody else in. So I put Alexis McAllister in DM. Then I had a midfield duo ahead of him of Trent and Gravenberch. Up top, Mohamed Salah on the right-hand side, Diaz on the left-hand side, and Cody Gakpo through the centre. That was my predicted 11 for Spurs. Because I do think we need to see Trent in midfield now. And Bradley's back, so it gives us an opportunity to put Conor Bradley straight in again at right back and move Trent into midfield and see what he can do. When do you think it's time to sell Darwin? I'd give him another season, Sultan, mate. Or at least the first half of next season. I think with a new coach coming in, you got to give the coach a chance to get the best out of him, and you got to give the player a chance as well. So, yeah, not yet, but give him 6 months or a year under Arne Slot and see what he can do. Darwin's stats are insane, barring lashing 6-10 yard chances. Yeah. Look, he gets enough opportunities. If he can start not missing those opportunities. What was the stat we seen the other day? Missed 26 from 32 big chances or something like that. I'd love that midfield, said the Red Machine. VVD is injured, isn't he? He's a doubt, but he's not ruled out. So I did say in the video, if Virgil isn't injured, or Virgil's injured, obviously there'll be a change there, but I'm assuming and hoping that he'll be okay for the game. Szoboszlai should be made into a winger or central attacking midfielder. He's wasted in central midfield. Well, he should be on the bench, in my opinion. Him and Curtis Jones should be nowhere near the starting 11 for the remainder of the season, unless they come on as a sub and really tear it up. I think both of those guys have been poor lately, so that's why I went with a midfield of McAllister, Trent and Gravenberch, because one, I think Gravenberch needs more minutes, and I'm getting concerned that I've seen more and more stories linking him with a move to Galatasaray. I mean, it's insane, the idea of getting rid of Gravenberch already, and I hope it doesn't happen. All I want is an entertaining game tomorrow. Good job all season from you, Craig. You'll never walk alone from Mauritius. Thank you, buddy. It's a Sunday game and a 4:30 one as well, so I do like that kickoff slot. So yeah, fingers crossed for. I think we will get an entertaining game. Usually we play Spurs, goals aren't a problem. Craig, you're nuts with that team. So I've said this before, mate. I've got no problem with anybody disagreeing with me whatsoever. But tell me why, or I'm just going to take it as you're just being a bit of an asshole. You know, if you don't agree with my team, that is no problem. I'm not trying to say I'm right and you're wrong, but come back at me and say why. You know, tell me why I'm insane with that team. I think it's a pretty rational team, to be honest with you, based off what we've seen. I'll go through it position by position. Goalkeeper, self-explanatory. Right back, Bradley's fit. I feel more comfortable with him at right back than Trent. Left-hand side, Andy Robertson. If it's Joe Gomez, I'm cool with that as well. But Andy Robertson's our left back. Centre back pairings, again, I think it's self-explanatory. Virgil and Kanade. Into midfield, Endo hasn't been brilliant lately, and I want to see what Trent's like in midfield. So I think putting McAllister in a DM and Trent and Gravenberch is... It's a bit of a risk, but it's also telling the likes of Szoboszlai and Jones that you better pull your socks up or you're not getting games. And then the front three is fairly straightforward again, so... I don't get it. I don't get why you think my team selection is that crazy. It's not all that strange, really. Have you seen the links to Takefusa Kubo? So by links, you mean the young lad from the United stand? Because somebody sent me this earlier on and said, oh, have you seen these links to Kubo? And I clicked on it, and it ends up, it's a 16-year-old kid, I believe, that works with the United stand that posted it on his account. And everybody's going, oh, look, Liverpool are probably signing Kubo. It's going to take a bit more than that for me to believe the links. So I would always say, just do your extra little bit of research on these things and don't just believe because it's posted somewhere on Twitter and shared by somebody that it's gospel. Look into it. Look, you can see why Liverpool could be interested in Kubo. You know, he's a talented player. I think he has a 60 million release clause. I don't know what the situation is with Real Madrid there because he has some type of clause in there that gives Real first option, I think, at a certain figure. But yeah, again, you know, I'd take with a massive pinch of salt where that came from. Believe Madrid are very keen on Trent. Don't think it'd be the end of the world if a big fee is agreed. I think it'll be a massive loss this summer. I think you're right about Real Madrid having an interest in him. I mean, I think most clubs in Europe with Trent having 1 year to go would probably be sniffing around and at least looking at the situation. I just don't think it's time for more change at the club in that direction. Trent's only coming into his, what you call his... the best years of his career right now is prime, like 25. He's entering into it now. Craig, what content will you be doing when the season's over? We'll be doing the Euros. We'll be doing Liverpool players' games in the Euros. We'll obviously be talking about transfers. Covering pre-season, of course, the pre-season games, all the usual kind of stuff we've done for the last few years in pre-season. How much would you pay for... Do you mean Kubo there? Well, I don't know. I don't know if I'd sign him or not. I don't know if he's the best option. I don't know his underlying numbers. And I haven't watched enough of him to know if he'd be a good fit for us. Oh, Kudus. Okay, Kudus. Now, that's a different conversation. Kudus I'd sign in a heartbeat. How much would I pay for him? 60 plus add-ons, maybe. I do like Kudus, and I would absolutely agree with the idea of bringing him to Liverpool. I think I'd look at it at 60 plus add-ons, but I don't know. I can't even remember what West Ham paid for him, so in that sense, I don't know what they would look at his market value as. But if a deal could be done, I'd be more than happy to have Kudus at the club. We should do some game nights, Craig versus the chat quizzes. I'm up for that. No problem, mate. I'm up for doing stuff like that. Where can I watch the preseason games? They're always on LFC TV. Yeah, LFC TV. Why Kudus and not Bowen? Bowen they're going to ask over 100 million for. So, and Bowen's what? Going to be 28, I think, by the summertime. So, that's probably one other reason. Will Endo and Alisson be at Liverpool next season? Alisson will, as far as I'm aware. Nobody's been put any credibility to the stories that have said Alisson could be departing. There was a couple of pieces written that suggested maybe Endo could be in a little bit of under a little bit of threat, I should say, for his position, because obviously Klopp's departing and we don't know what the new coach will think of Endo, whether we think we need to strengthen there. Personally, I do think we need to add another DM, unless we absolutely know Bajcetic is going to be fit and the new coach is happy about that. I've no problem with that either. But yeah, from those two, I think Endo is the one that's probably more likely to at least drop down the pecking order. The season's over. We've qualified for the Champions League. I don't see the point of playing regulars. They play too many games as it is. Euros also soon. Let them rest. So, firstly, it's not Liverpool Football Club's job to look after players for the international teams. Secondly, some of these guys have a point to prove. So, I would suggest that playing them now shows that if they can change their form around a little bit, the likes of a Salah as an example, then maybe we start to know that he's not declining. And also, I want Klopp to go out with some good results. And I think the senior players have to play. I don't really give a shite about their international teams. I don't care how it affects Holland, England, Germany or whatever. I don't care. France, couldn't care. I'm concerned about Liverpool. And I want Liverpool to win games of football. So that's why I would say we still need to pay. And also they're earning a lot of money as well. Craig, I have a delusional feeling that Slot could have an Alonso-style season and win the Prem. Imagine. Oh, mate, imagine. Look, I don't know if he will or won't, but I'm here for it if he does. That would be amazing. Did you see Bobby Clark's injured? Yes, Troy, we spoke about it on yesterday's stream, mate. Bobby Clark did post to say that unfortunately his season's over due to injury and that he's looking forward to getting back to pre-season and being ready for next campaign. How's your Friday been? It's been okay, thank you, mate. I hope yours has been good. It's just me and Lucas here in the house at the minute. My daughter and her boyfriend are up at a comedy gig in Dublin. My wife is up at her parents' house in Dublin. So it's just me, Lucas, and Harvey in the house. I will be in the middle of Venice the day of the European Championship final. Will I survive? I think you might, mate. I think you'll be okay. Off-season idea. Craig Houlden wins the quad on FM24. I just don't think you're going to get me back playing games. I just don't like them. What did Klopp say is a crime? He said that this Wednesday, Sunday, 12:30, or Wednesday, Saturday, 12:30, Thursday, Sunday is a crime. He went on to say that they dare give Thursday, Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday, 12:30 is a crime. I was actually waiting for Amnesty International to go to them, speaking about the likes of TNT Sports and that, or any of the broadcasters. He also said that I had a discussion only the other day with colleagues from our favourite TV channel, which I will definitely not watch again, TNT. So yeah, Kloppo was box office today in his press conference. Because it means to replace Salah, goal-scoring winger is needed. Yes, exactly. But look, I would always say this. Don't expect whoever Liverpool sign, if indeed Liverpool sign a winger, don't expect Salah numbers, because you won't get them, because Salah is a unicorn, you know? So I hope that everybody is realistic, that if indeed Mo does depart at any point, don't be expecting a replacement to be another Mo, because they won't. You know, Mo is one of those rare creatures that, I mean, I'm probably thinking of a better word than creatures, to be fair. I was thinking creatures of habit. But Mo's just a unicorn, as I said. So yeah, we bring in another wide forward. They're going to have to chip in with some goals, but they're not going to do Mo numbers. But then again, I don't think scoring goals is a problem for us, really. Well, other than the last few weeks. Did I ever play video games growing up? Yes, of course. I played Street Fighter, Virtua Tennis, Tiger Woods. I had a Commodore 64 when I was even younger than that. I had the likes of Platoon and stuff on that. Of course, I had Segas, played Sonic, all that type of stuff. Just never really kept up my interest when I got older. Brian said, we won't get Salah numbers with Salah. He's not that player anymore. So I feel like we've asked the question so many times over the past week about what would you do with Salah. And the last two polls you guys said you'd sell Salah, which interests me. But I do want to ask what you guys think is the right option with Virgil. You know, we did the poll the other day and we asked, should he get a new contract offer with less money? Should Liverpool allow him run down his contract, or should he be sold? So I'd like to get your thoughts on what we do with the centre-back situation. And again, every week that goes by that we don't have some news on Salah, Virgil and Trent, I get a little bit more concerned. If we wanted a like-for-like Salah replacement, we should look at Mbeumo. So, in what world is Mbeumo a like-for-like for Salah? I'm baffled. He's never ever given any suggestion that he'll do numbers like Salah, because you said like for like. He's a hard worker, he's a good player, and he's an honest footballer, but I don't see him as a like for Salah. He doesn't strike me as somebody who gets the ball down and runs at people or goes past people or isn't prolific in front of goal. He's a good player, don't get me wrong, but I certainly wouldn't be saying like for like. Am I watching any of the championship games tomorrow? Not sure. Tomorrow's my day off, so I haven't really made any plans for what I'm going to do tomorrow other than sleep in. And yeah, that's it. Just sleep in and relax for the day. I like this channel for banter or serious chats on Liverpool things. Thank you, mate. Some days, you know, I come on and I could do this stream and I could end it now because, you know, there isn't a whole lot of Liverpool news today, but I enjoy the chats as well. So this is why I'm happy to stay on as long as I can. We need a true leader on the pitch and in the back line, to John O'Keefe. Thank you, John. I agree. Actually, I'm going to ask a simple question on the captaincy with Van Dijk, because I feel like some people think I'm deluded here when I say Van Dijk isn't a captain. So I'm going to ask a question. Do you think Virgil van Dijk is a good captain? Yes or no? So for me, I've said all along, I think he's a great centre-back and I think he has more years in him at the top. But I don't like his style of leadership personally, and it is a personal preference. So I want to know what you guys think. Let's be real, we need a new left back. Tsimikas got to go. I agree on Tsimikas, mate. I've been saying, Andre, about Kostas Tsimikas for a while. Which is, sometimes I feel really bad talking about selling players, because Kostas seems like a really good fella. Seems like a really nice guy, and certainly seems to love being at Liverpool. But I've seen enough of him now to know that if Andy Robertson were to hang up his boots tomorrow, Kostas is not going to be the replacement. He's not going to be that guy. So I feel like it is the right time to maybe cash in and utilise those funds for another signing. Craig, Coutinho, Firmino, Mane were a good forward line. We don't need another Mo as long as the forward line finds the back of the net. Agreed. So, for instance, if Darwin added another 8 to 10 goals to his game next season, and Diaz, if he was still at Liverpool, threw in another 6 or 7, you can make up that shortfall from Mo by spreading it around. I'd also like some more goals from midfield, which, to be fair, we have seen in some recent times. McAllister's chipped in with a few. We know Szoboszlai's more than capable. Gravenberch has shown that he's not afraid to pull the trigger or get into the penalty area as well. So, yeah, for me, leaking goals is more of a problem than scoring them. All due respect to VVD, so Colin Brooks, come the moment there wasn't a leader. Tony reckons Virgil is leaving. So there have been some links, Tony, to him and Borussia Dortmund. Mats Hummels, I think, is departing Dortmund in the summer. And there was some speculation that maybe Virgil van Dijk could head over to Signal Iduna Park. Maybe he does. I can see him in a Dortmund shirt. But again, we're talking about a summer of more upheaval here. And in a summer where I think strengthening the squad should be the priority. We can't we've got to be careful not to lose too much experience as well. But the age profile, 33, it's a difficult one. Again, I would question the club's logic of letting it get to this point with him and Salah, and especially again Trent. 25 years of age, your vice captain, and you're letting him run his contract down to the last year. It seems madness to me. Sahil said Van Dijk's head is always the first to go when we concede a goal. Instead of rallying up everyone, he just loses it within the team. Kyle said he looks like a lazy captain. VVD is a modern captain, said David. We are not in the throw boots around age. I don't think I've ever suggested that I want a captain throwing boots around, mate. But I do want a captain who leads by example. And I want a captain who is able to stop the rot when it starts setting in. And as a couple of people in the chat has pointed out, that hasn't been Virgil. Henderson was a leader. Milner was a leader. You can see it in them. You can see how they went about their business on the pitch. I think with Van Dijk, his languid style of play, which is his own natural style, I think that form of captaincy isn't rubbing off the right way in the rest of the team. And also, you say we're not in boot thrown around days. What I hear there is everybody's too soft these days and can't take a bit of criticism. And that needs to be addressed as well. In life, you're not going to have smoke blown up your ass the entire time. You're going to have some adversity, and you need to have the strength of character to hear some harsh truths and accept them, and not go run into an agent and say, big bald man shouted at me, I need out of here. So we need players with character as well. So again, nobody said throwing boots around, but there's nothing wrong with saying, calling somebody over and saying, that's on you, don't let that happen again. Or making sure that you're in the referee's ear. Or, let's say the game's starting to get away from us a bit. There's nothing wrong with a bit of tactical, look, I have a sore ankle here, I'm going to sit down, and while I'm sitting down, I'm going to actually give instructions to other people around me. Just lots of different things that I don't see from Van Dijk. How about putting Gomez at left back, sell Tsimikas, and get a left centre back or a right centre back? So, look, I like Gomez's versatility, but call me old fashioned. I want my left back to be a left footer. In an ideal world, I do want my left back to be a left footer. So, I would say no on that one. I'm not taking no VVD slaughtered. He's been spelled bin. Good this season. You people can't just turn on him. So again, you people have a name, Adriano. And if you're not emotionally grown up enough to understand the difference between a conversation around somebody being a captain, because again, mate, to be fair, I started off the entire conversation by saying this has got nothing to do with Virgil's performances as a player. As a centre-back, he's more than good enough. This is to do with his leadership. So if you're another one of these assholes that wants to just cry and say everything is hey, then go away. And don't ever address my chat as you people. Show some damn respect to people who will show it back to you. So cop on and let it go. Again, stupid little children who don't know the difference between constructive criticism and throwing their toys out with a pram. Grow up. I hate it. I hate that attitude. I don't know, man. I tell you, if you were my kid, you wouldn't be going around with life with that attitude. Shocking. I'm a big believer captain should be from the midfield. I can understand that, mate. You know, I'm not so much a believer that the captain should be from midfield, but I definitely don't like my goalkeeper being a captain, which is weird, right? Because I was a captain as a goalkeeper myself, but I still stand over an outfield player. Don't like it being a forward either, by the way. So centre back or a defender or a midfielder would probably be where I'd be at. It's the Marmite Society, Craig. No, it's the always fucking offended society. You know, this hate. It's not hate. It's called an opinion. Hate is saying get Virgil out of our club. Hate is saying sell him, he's useless. Nobody's saying any of that. But these people either miss half the conversation or just come in to be an asshole. Did I not start the entire piece by saying this has got nothing to do with Virgil's ability as a player? But again, people just want attention. And people just want to be offended by everything. Some people are going to have a real wake-up call when they go out into the real world in life. Because some of the shit you think you can get away with online, you're not going to get away with that in the real world. And this always offended crap is nonsense. And it needs to stop. People are allowed to have a constructive criticism of anyone. And then, trust me, if it goes to hate, I'll be the first one to speak up and say, nah, that's hate. Get this player out of my club stuff. That'll never happen on my channel. But somebody should be able to say, I think Salah did this wrong. I think Jurgen made that decision incorrectly. I think Diaz had a bad game and should have scored 2. That's normal. That's an opinion. We can't all love everything all the time. Being blindly in agreement on something or thinking somebody always does everything right, that's equally as dangerous. For instance, I'm going to give you an example, right? The Ryan Garcia situation. Have you seen this? If you're fans of boxing, you know what I'm talking about. Ryan Garcia showed up an adverse finding for a... I'm going to say it, like a steroid, basically, that can act like a steroid. I'm not a scientist, so I don't know the ins and outs of that. But my point is, Ryan Garcia is crying, saying, I never do these things. I'd never take a steroid. I don't even know where I can get steroids. Fuck off. You don't know where you can get them. Is that I'm supposed to take that seriously? You're in a boxing gym, and I'm supposed to believe that, 1, you don't know where you could possibly get them. So that's nonsense. 2, it was found in your system. So, you know, get to your B sample and figure it out. But this whole, I never do it, guys, gee, shucks, off. You were fucking caught, mate. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've entitlement to go through due process here. But it's in your body. And if it's in your body and it's found that your B sample's the same, you've done something. I hate this. There's no damn responsibility in the world anymore. It's always somebody else's fault. Do you know what would be nice once? They see somebody get caught taking performance-enhancing drugs and go, yeah, fair cop. I did it. And take the punishment. It's always, never me, big drama, blah, 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 blah. We need to just grow up and act tougher. It's nonsense. And look, I don't know if Ryan Garcia did or didn't take it, but I know it was found in the system. And I know he'll have a chance to go through due process like anybody else. But I'm so sick of this, like, thinking we're all thick, treating us all like thickos. I don't know where I could even get them. Craig, I don't think VVD's an awful captain. Before VVD was made captain, I said Robertson would be good. I like the idea of Robbo as well. Recently, I've liked the idea of Maka as a captain. I think Maka could be that perfect balance of leading by example, being able to portray his feelings, but not going too over the top as well. Yeah, I think Alexis McAllister could be a good mix. Ostarine helps fighters cut weight but retain muscle. There you go. Thank you. I knew I was never going to remember what the drug that was found in the system was called. But yes, as you've said, mate, found in a system. And look, is there a chance that it was there and he didn't knowingly take it? Yes, of course. I'm absolutely open to that. But either way, tough shit. It's in your system. And if it's found in your B sample as well, then take your punishment. In your opinion, who do you think will leave with Klopp at the end of the season? So, Gary, do you mean with Klopp from the sense of the coaching staff, or do you mean just as well? Because I'm going to take it that you mean as well. So the coaching staff, they're pretty much all going. I still think Salah will go, but if he accepts a contract on less money, brilliant. I've no issues with that either. So I think Salah will go. I think Costas might go. Unsure on Endo. Nat Phillips, I think, will move on. Matip, Thiago, Adrian. I think we may lose Kelleher. You know, I think we might lose Kelleher. Other than that, Carvalho perhaps move on. I think a decision has to be made on Tyler Morton, what's best for him. Reece Williams will move on most likely. Then we have to make a decision what happens with Calvin Ramsey. Is it another loan for him, or does he come into the first team fold? The more I say these things out loud, Gary, the more I think, God, that's quite a bit of turnover there. 40 staff and Mo. Yeah, I think, wasn't it... what's his name who said that? Ryan Babel, I think, said that he heard of something like 40 staff members in total due to leave in the summer. Kelleher too good to be a second goalkeeper. I know it's a real tough situation because we'd all love Kelleher to stay. And I'd in a heartbeat want Quiveen to stay. But I couldn't stand in his way if I was a manager and he said, look, you know, I got a taste of first team football really this year, played about half the league games, and I could see that I could hold my own, and I want to make that move now. I can understand and respect that 100% if that's his stance. And I hope that everybody gets a move that works for him, the club, and everybody else. But selfishly, I would like him to stay. But I do agree with you, he is too good to be a second choice keeper. Tyson Fury got off years ago and he got off with it because he was eating a wild boar. Yeah, you see, my memory of that situation is a little bit differently. I think he served the ban while also talking about the mental health situation. So didn't have his boxing license for that time because he was dealing with his own demons. And I think the ban time coincided with all of that, if my memory is correct. Why are you still pushing the Van Dijk is it not a good captain narrative? What are you trying to gain from it? Nothing but negativity. What am I trying to gain from it? An understanding of how other people feel. And by the way, mate, you're saying I'm trying to push it. 62% of the chat also feel he's not a good captain. So I think my conversation is more than justified by the response from Liverpool fans in the chat. What am I trying to gain from it? An understanding of if I'm old school or if I'm not seeing something that Virg is doing that others are doing as a captain. I'm also trying to figure out if we could have a better form of leadership. So again, I don't know how that's negativity. It's an opinion. And am I not allowed a negative opinion? Do I have to be happy all the time and say everybody's great even when it clearly isn't? So again, I would say I've explained my rationale and my reasoning, and it looks like nearly 2/3 of the viewers agree with my stance on Van Dijk as a captain. So if anything, I could flip the script on you and say, why are you being deluded? Why are you not opening your eyes to what most of the rest of us are seeing? And I've been very polite to you there in the way I've gone about that, because again, you've tried to undermine me and tried to say that there was another reason as to maybe why I'm speaking about Van Dijk being a poor captain. It could possibly be, now hear me out, that I just don't think he's a good captain. What else we got? Do you think Szoboszlai would be a good fit in the Slot system? I think he'd be a good fit in any system. And yes, in the 4-2-3-1, I think he'll have opportunity to show what he can do, but he does need to step it up a bit. Like, the thing that's caught me by surprise most about Szoboszlai in the latter part of this season has been that he looks faded and he looks jaded and he looks tired and he looks not like the explosive player that came in. I I'm concerned by that, but I've no doubts about his ability, and I've no doubts that we'll see more from him next season. Barry said, Craig, why is your chat so cool? You're so well loved. You speak your mind and give your reasoning. Forget the clowns who think not being 100% lover makes you a hater. This isn't the real world. I know. And in some ways, being so unashamedly positive about everything is deluded. Like, it isn't the real world. And I don't know why people go to hate or think it's hate if you're criticising somebody. We're fans. We're supposed to have opinions. We're supposed to discuss the club, the players, the style of play, the results. And if we can't do that with an open mind, like, what you will notice is, even if I'm being critical, I'm respectful. You don't hear me saying stuff like, get this lad out of my club. You'll never hear those words out of my mouth. So I think I'm more than fair and balanced in what I do. But I don't believe you all have to agree with me, but I do believe you should show me at least the same amount of respect I show to you and to those players who we're speaking about. I think that's a bare minimum. Throw boots around. My jab at Man United maybe should have said kick boots. VVD is a modern locker room captain, not a field either, which Robbo was more of. Yeah, wasn't it Ferguson that kicked the boot and I hit Beckham in the eyebrow? Am I right with that one, David? And then there was Pizzagate as well with the Arsenal game. But I think that's an interesting take you finished up with there, David. VVD's a modern locker room captain, not a field leader, which Robbo was more of. I could see that. To be fair, I could see Van Dijk having that conversation in the dressing room, and Van Dijk's had it in the huddle as well before the games this season. Which I like, to be honest. I do like the idea of a last minute G up of the players by the captain, last minute words of encouragement before a game gets underway. I definitely like that aspect of what Virgil has added. So Ten Lasso's been speaking a little bit about Slot to Liverpool, and he said it's fantastic for him. It's confirmation and recognition of his quality. It's fantastic for Dutch football too. Good. He's right. It is. It's fantastic all around, and it'll be super fantastic when we get to see Slot show that the comparisons with him and Ten Lasso are stupid. Don't undermine Dr. Evil. Where's Mini-Me? You are setting me up for so many easy jokes there, mate. I mean, I wish I had the power of Dr. Evil. Where's Mini-Me? Yeah, I'm going to bite my tongue on that one because there's too many jokes flying through my head. But I hope it was worth your little outburst, mate, and best of luck to you. Can you catch me up on the news? Absolutely. To be fair, today's one of the quieter days. We'll start off and we'll go backwards. So, a story that came out from Marca via Caught Offside said that Barcelona have decided to cash in on Pedri, and that would allow them to free up some money to spend in the transfer market. The same piece said that Liverpool are leading the race to sign the Spanish midfielder, and Arsenal are interested too. I don't believe in that, to be fair. I then read out some quotes from Jurgen Klopp from his press conference today, where he said, I had a discussion only the other day with colleagues from our favourite TV channel, TNT, which I will definitely not be watching again. He then went on to speak about the player welfare situation, and he said they dare give Thursday, Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday 12:30 is a crime. I was actually waiting for Amnesty International to go to them. We spoke a little bit about what Jurgen Klopp said in his press conference today around injuries, that Conor Bradley is available for the game, Diogo Jota not there yet, and that Virgil is a doubt at the minute. We'll have to see what happens there. We talked about some of the journalists as well. Lewis Steele said this Jurgen Klopp press conference is very last day at school, no rules vibes. We spoke about a solicitor representing FIFA in the ongoing antitrust lawsuit against it by a New York-based sports promoter said in federal court on Thursday that a rule change that would allow domestic league games to be played abroad could come into effect before the end of the year. And we spoke about why I don't think that taking games abroad is in any way a good idea. That's pretty much it. We have the poll about Virgil's captaincy up now at the minute. which said, do you think Virgil is a good captain? Yes or no? That's pretty much where we're at. And yeah, we'll leave that poll running in the background there. If nothing, for no other reason than just to wind up the other fella who was crying about it a few minutes ago. Brian said, opinions are useless if you can't back them up with a logical argument. As Barry said, Craig always provides his rationale. I do, and I don't expect everybody to agree with me, Brian. I'm definitely outspoken on certain things, and I think I've shown enough times on the channel as well that I never... I'm not afraid to admit when I'm wrong, or if my opinion has been turned by the chat presenting another take on it. I think I've shown loads of times that I've gone, oh, do you know what? Didn't think of that. Fair enough. And I love being educated on here. I love learning stuff and other opinions as well. What I just don't and will not accept is anybody just being disrespectful for no reason. You know, we all approach each other in here with kindness and sincerity, and I'd like that to become commonplace. So I know we go over the top at times in trying to just say show people respect, but I feel like it's lacking these days a lot, and it's a lot easier to come in and be nice to somebody, even if you disagree with them, because most importantly, you don't know what someone's going through, right? So say somebody's in the chat and you come in and say, that's a ridiculous opinion. What if that person's in a really bad minute and they're lonely, or, you know, just try and be a bit more mindful, you know, of how we speak to each other. Because I know, and I've said this many times, I've come in here some days when I've had days genuinely where I haven't been able to get out of bed because I've been so down. Not because of the channel, just life. And I forced myself to come on and turn the computer on and do a bit of work, and within 45 minutes my whole mindset's changed because I've gotten that positive reinforcement from the chat. I've got that virtual hug, somebody's made me smile, and it changes the course of my week or weekend. So small little things like that can mean a lot to people, particularly in a day and age where a lot of people are feeling more and more marginalised and lonely. You know, I started all this because I was lonely. I'm not the most social person in the world. And I started my whole content journey behind a fake name, writing articles about Liverpool. I was tweeting, then writing articles, and now here I am. So, yeah, just, you know, be mindful. What do you think of Zorani from Bournemouth, Craig? Really impressed with him this season, and he's very robust, very rarely injured. I'm embarrassed to say, Robert, I've no idea who he is, dude. Sorry, I can't give you a better input on it. I've got no idea who he is, in all honesty. Do you know what I've learned a lot of over the last couple of years? How deep your knowledge is on all things European football. The amount of brilliant insights I get on from people on players that I've never heard of, or up-and-coming players to keep an eye on. It's brilliant. Like, your knowledge of football is fantastic, and some of these interactions have been a learning experience for me, and I've been around football my entire life. You know, I like to think I know the game well, but it never ceases to amaze me how clued up so many people are. Liverpool has more players and leaders than any other team in the Prem, so why pick on Van Dijk to lead when they should all saying he go it overnight? I don't understand what the fuck any of that means. Why pick on? I don't think, again, you're saying we're picking on Van Dijk. He's the captain. So when we're talking about leadership, and you are right, there is a leadership group at the football club. But for instance, do I think Salah be a good captain? Nope. Do I think Trent to be a good captain? Unsure. Do I think Alisson to be a good captain? Maybe, but I don't like my goalkeeper being a captain personally. So we're talking about Virg because he's the captain. So he's the leader of the leadership group. Again, I don't understand why people get so sensitive about this. I'm not, like, it's not my decision to strip the armband off him or not, but we've been crap for the last month, and a lack of leadership from many people out there on the pitch has certainly contributed to that fall off. Thoughts on Tyler Morton? Will he be in the squad next season? I feel bad saying no, because Tyler Morton is a good footballer, and when somebody like Tyler Morton goes into the Championship and goes on loan to a team like Hull, what I wanted from them to show that they're a level above that, and I think he has. I think, to be fair to Tyler Morton, he's shown that he's a very good professional. Will he make the grade at Liverpool in that position? I have to say I'm doubtful, but I'd be more than open to being proved wrong on it. And what happens with him in the summer, I think, is he'll be assessed in pre-season. And after that, I really don't know. But he's definitely done himself no harm on any of these loans that he's had. Rob Dant, said the main thing is that the players listen to Slot. After all, when Klopp came to the club, he had a background. This guy is nothing to our stars. Yeah, I mean, I can certainly see that, but he is still the coach for a reason. So I do hope, as you've said, Rob, that the players listen, because we'll only be successful if they buy into what the new coach is selling and they believe in what the new coach is doing. So there has to be buy-in from the players. And from what I've understood from reading up on Slot, he doesn't rule with an iron fist. He has an open door policy. He's happy to talk to his players, but I do believe they'll buy in to what he has to do. And I hope we don't see any power struggles, because they never benefit anybody, a power struggle. You've seen them at other clubs over the years where a couple of players are fracturing the dressing room with opinions on X or Y, and it's never a good thing. Thoughts on the Kubo news? Again, I've spoke about this. People say news. A 16-year-old from the United stand posted about Liverpool being interested in Kubo. That's all I've seen. Again, if I'm wrong, please give me more indications, but the only account I've seen credited that is the young man that works with the United stand, and that's football. And other than that, I've not seen it posted from anywhere else. And I don't know this person at all, so I've no idea if it's a credible source or not a credible source. But I'm not going to give it too much thought process, because I haven't heard it from a journalist. So, would I be open to the idea of us looking at Kubo? Yeah, probably. I think we could probably do a little bit better, in all honesty, but I don't think it's news, because, as I said, I don't consider that a very worthwhile source to provide us a talking point. Should your best player be the captain? Not necessarily. Not necessarily, Eamon. Nobody would say that that Henderson was the best player at Liverpool, but I hope most of us would agree he was an excellent captain. But then you had the other side of it. Steven Gerrard probably was the best player and also the captain. So I don't think it should be a divine right because you're the best player to be the captain. And also, one more thing on Virgil, that I don't know if people missed this previously, or they haven't heard me talking about it, or they don't care. But he himself has spoken about the added pressures of captaining Liverpool and the Dutch national team, and how it has caused him some concern. So, if he said that himself, would it not make more sense to take that responsibility and worry off him and just allow him to concentrate on his game? Now, I would say at this point, it's a very difficult conversation if you were to try and have it with somebody who is senior at the club, has been the captain. I don't expect the armband to be taken off him, quite frankly. I think he will be the captain if he stays at the club. I just don't think he's the right fit. That's all I've ever tried to say about it. Do you think if he stays, Salah would operate better as an out-and-out forward rather than a winger? So one encouraging thing about Slot coming to the club, if Salah stayed, is that he likes one of his wide players, when attacking, to tuck inside and become an additional number 10. And then you'll see an overlapping fullback or an overload on the other side. So yes, in some extent, I could see Salah through the middle, but also just in the way Slot plays normally, you could probably see Salah get more involved in games, because one of the biggest negatives we've seen this season has been that he's been too far wide, too far away from the action areas. And if some of those chances that fell to Darwin fell to Salah, I think we'd be talking about a far different return. So yes, I do think you could play him centrally, but I also think if he stays just normally the way Slot looks to play, could benefit Mo. Do you think the league is going to be much harder for Slot next season than it was last season? Maybe Newcastle, Chelsea, United, Brighton play better. It feels like every season, DG, some clubs step forward, others step back. So for us, last year, we fell away, which allowed other clubs to come in and take those Champions League spots. This season, Newcastle had a really sticky patch, which left them with a lot of work to do. United have been a bit all over the shop, and Chelsea have been, again, a bit all over the shop. So I'm sure next season we'll see some more stability from the likes of Chelsea and maybe one or two others. But injuries and other reasons, we'll probably see another club or two fall away. Like, the whole vibe around Spurs has changed a lot over the course of a few weeks, you know. Ange Postecoglou has been spoken of and gotten very positive media coverage for a lot of this season. But in the last couple of weeks, Spurs have started to look very vulnerable. And his style has come in for a little bit more critiquing. So, yeah, I think there will be improvements, but there will be fallaways, like every season. It's a very, very competitive league. And right now you've got City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Spurs, Villa, United, Newcastle, Chelsea, all feeling... Did I say Villa? If I didn't say Villa, Villa as well. All feeling like they could be in with a shout of a top 4 place in a Champions League spot. But there's only 4 of them. So a lot will come down to, obviously, the coaches, but also the transfer window. We cannot stand still. And that's my fear. I feel like Slot could be a scapegoat because of the cheapness of our owners. I want them to prove that they believe they picked the right guy, that they're going to back his vision, and they're going to make sure that he has everything that he needs to really try and win the Premier League. And if we do that, brilliant. If they don't do that, then I fear we're in for a frustrating season, and I hope that we don't. I hope that we get the players, and I hope that we get the results, and I hope that injuries don't haunt us next season. Craig, honestly, I think we can win the title under Slot in his first year. It's not like we got Moreno, Colo, Sacco, etc. We've got good players, and a good summer window would help. Yeah, we've a great core group at the club. Absolutely. You know, outside of the starting 11, there's some good backup players there as well. The availability of Jota would have helped at the business end of the season if he could have been fit. You know, having no Thiago for the entire season, the man played 5 minutes of football. You know, he certainly could have helped us out on occasion. But we've seen some positives as well, as you've said, the emergence of the likes of Bradley, Kwanzaa, Bobby Clark, McConnell. They've certainly had a great campaign as well. So getting the balance between the natural progression of those youth players and going into the transfer market, that might be a tricky call. My fear again is that the owners will always look to the cheaper option, which of course would be to the academy, and getting that balance right will be difficult. I haven't even mentioned Jayden Dans and Kumas there either, by the way. Craig Adams said, love your channel, mate, keep it going. Thank you, sir, appreciate you. So look, just a couple of quick little things. If you haven't, please do drop a like on the video, and do hit that subscribe button. Again, I want to just remind people, the Dublin show, as I was about to come on, was still live, but I can tell you 100% that the Dublin show is cancelled and it won't be happening. Belfast show is 100% going ahead. The Cardiff and Liverpool shows will be going on sale on May 20th, so we'll give you guys more information on that. But don't go and buy a Dublin ticket, because you'll end up just getting a refund. And I'm trying to push them to get it taken down as quickly as possible, because it wasn't selling well and it just makes no sense to do the show. So again, Belfast, absolutely flying, but ignore the Dublin show if you go on Ticketmaster and it's still up, because it will be cancelled hopefully soon. And look, most other people will probably try to give you some excuse about the show, blah blah blah. It wasn't selling. Simple as I'm not afraid to admit when something doesn't work, and it just didn't. Dublin, for whatever reason, people have no interest in coming to see us, which is absolutely fine. And it'll be the last time we try a Dublin show, because the first one was great, but it was a difficult sell as well. But we've seen a lot more desire for people in the likes of Belfast, who, you know, ticket sales up there have been very good. I think Liverpool and Cardiff will do quite well. I can give you a bit of an announcement on that, actually. Both those shows, Cardiff and Liverpool, tickets are only going to be £15 for both of those shows. So if you want to come and see us, 15 quid. We're already up on the listings on the Hot Water Comedy Club, and we will be selling the tickets for Cardiff ourselves. My plan is to have a £15 ticket for Cardiff and also a family ticket of 4 tickets for 50 quid. Isak or Osimhen? Can we do a poll on that, actually? Right, I need some forward names. So on the Verge captaincy, we've nearly had 1,000 votes. 61% said that they think VVD is not a good captain, and 39% say he is. Right, a forward poll. That's the one we haven't done. So, right, I need 4 options for a striker. Who would you sign? Okay, 1 second. Who would you sign? So Isak obviously is a good shout. Let me get that in. Is Isak 1 or 2 S's? Is it just Isak? Who else have we got in there? Osimhen. Another option. Okay, 1 second. Okay, I've got 3. I need 1 more. It won't be ENQUIRIES, so I think we can look past that one. Isak, I've got in. Yeah, do you know what? I think that's another fair one. Right, I've got 4 options. Now, sorry if they aren't the 4 options that you agree with, but let's go with these 4 options. So the options are, who would you sign? Isak, Osimhen, Watkins, or Tony? And look, if it isn't one of them, we can do another poll tomorrow, or sorry, not tomorrow, on Monday, when we can look at other forwards. There's a double A in Isak. Yeah, I think you know who I mean. Apologies for the misspelling of it, but you know who I mean. Sorloth from Norway. Sorloth. Sociedad? Or am I wrong on that? I'm fairly sure Sorloth, Sociedad, right? I think I'm right on that one. Why no ENQUIRIES? I don't think it's realistic. Yeah, and I've not seen any links whatsoever to Liverpool and him. Adeyemi's in it. Look, we can do another one. By the way, well, do you know what? Feck it. We'll do another one. I'll stay on a bit later. We'll do another one. So this can be poll number 1. And for the second poll, we'll put in other options. So we'll put in ENQUIRIES. Adeyemi's a great shout. So yeah, we'll do that. We'll do the 2 polls and then we'll do a final. And we'll go from there. Have I seen Jamie Carragher drunk in Dortmund? I haven't seen it, but I've read articles about it. He was on the yellow wall, I think, with the Dortmund fans, and he said he had 8 points or something like that. Look, I've no problem with anyone having a good time and having a bit of crack. No issues with that whatsoever. Arne Slot loves to change players' positions. Klopp had a bit of a like for that as well, Christoph. I mean, look at Sadio Mane as a good example. He was right-sided player at Liverpool till Mo came in, then he shifted across to the left. We've seen it with other players as well. Good. You know, as long as Arne Slot gets the performances from the players the way he wants them, I don't mind where they play as long as we're winning. Icardi? No, thank you. Absolutely no. No way would I want Mauro Icardi at Liverpool Football Club, mate. He's not worth the headache. It'd be like Balotelli all over again. What's my second favourite team? Barcelona, mate. Are you feeling sad now it's almost over for Klopp? I was feeling really bad, but then when I seen him today, he looked happier. Like a weight was off his shoulders. So I'm feeling like we might enjoy these last 3 games. And I hope Kloppo enjoys the last 3 game experience as well. And I hope the players play with a bit of a sense of freedom as well. Because it'd be nice to finish the season with some good vibes. Gonçalo Ramos, again, gone to PSG. I don't think PSG are likely to sell. He's had a decent enough campaign there, but I wouldn't say amazing. Right, so look, we will get a second poll up in a second. Let this one get to 500 votes, and then we'll put the second poll up. So, options, a misspelled Alexander Isak, Victor Osimhen, Ollie Watkins, and Ivan Toney. They're the first 4. We've had 300 or so votes, so we'll keep that up until we get 500 votes. Then we'll do a second poll, and then we'll do the finalists. Lee Trundle. You seem to have a real love affair with Lee Trundle, Toes. I've seen him posted by you a few times. Artem Dovbyk, Girona. Yeah, he's a bit hit and miss. He's a good, solid pro, but do you know what? To be fair, I think he could make it in the Premier League. He's certainly got the physicality for the Premier League. Isn't there something going on about that transfer, though? Aren't Girona under investigation for that transfer, or some aspect of that transfer? Openda from Leipzig, great shout, Christopher. Great shout. So I'm going to write down 4 options there for the second one. That is a really good shout, mate. So Openda. Who else did I promise would go on the second one? Sorloth, wasn't it? Adeyemi. And there was one more person I promised I'd put in the second one. I've got Sorloth there on my list, don't worry. There was another one I promised somebody I'd put in. So I've got Openda, Sorloth, Adeyemi, but there was one more I promised somebody I'd put in. Oh, ENQUIRIES, wasn't it? Yeah. Grand. So we'll let that poll, vote away on that poll, by the way, if you haven't. If we don't get to 500 votes, I'll just end it in a few moments anyway, but still feel free to vote away on that. We'll get the second poll ready to go, and then we'll do the final. Ali News said we need to buy some players from the Portuguese league. They have some great players there. I agree. Do I rate Adeyemi? Yes, I do. I thought he was very impressive again the other night. But yes, we were linked with Karim Adeyemi before he moved to Dortmund, and I think it was a good call from him to go to Dortmund, to be fair. You can see he's certainly been able to get the game time and experience there. And it's a great club to go and play for as well, let's be honest. Craig, I heard somewhere Klopp picked Núñez over Nkunku. Is this true? I believe so. Do you think Somerville will come to Liverpool? I love how he plays. I think it's certainly a possibility, Stephen. You know, he's been more than spoken about either before the Arne Slot announcement and after it. So I know for a fact that he's somebody Liverpool have kept an eye on. I don't know if that will end up in a bid or not. Right, so we're going to end this poll, and it is Isak and Watkins that make it through to the final. And then we're going to put up the other semi-final. So, 1 second. Right, so who would you sign? So I did say we'll go with Openda, ENQUIRIES, who I'm definitely going to misspell, Adeyemi. Somebody help me out there. Adeyemi. Adeyemi, is that right? And one more option. Who was the other option I said? Oh, Sorloth. Okay, cool. Is they the ones I promised? Yes, great. So there's another 4. So we've got Isak and Watkins there into the final. And we'll see what this other poll does. And then we'll put the top 4 into the final. And then you guys can vote on who you would sign. Okay. Just put my notes there. What's this? I think Dan's is a better prospect than Ferguson. Ferguson is awesome, but Dan's is an unreal talent. Do you know what? It's not a bad shout, that. He's not a bad shout at all. It's been a very underwhelming season for Evan Ferguson this year. I thought he was going to have a bigger impact. Now, I know he's had some injuries and stuff as well, but do you know what? I think you could be right, you know. I think Jayden Danns may well end up being better. So, yeah. I think a lot of people may think we're mad saying that, but he's certainly shown no fear. He's shown an ability to score goals at every age group going through. Obviously, when he came in for us, he scored as well. Scored a brace. So, yeah, I don't think that's as crazy as a shout as maybe we would have said 6 months ago. King Pop said Adeyemi would be cold at Liverpool. How do I feel about Santiago Jimenez? Is he the guy from Feyenoord, the striker? I don't want us going back and bringing in 2, 3, 4 players from his former club. I think Geertruida is probably the likely one from what I've seen. Reefer was another one that was suggested, but I don't want us over-reliant on players he knows. Ferguson and O'Mahony are way better than Dan's, let's be honest. I don't know, mate. Ferguson has all the tools at his disposal, but he needs to push on as well. And Jayden Danns, I think, has shown he's a very good talent. Are we playing tomorrow? No, we're playing on Sunday, 4:30. So let's have a look. How's this poll doing? Ooh, this one's a bit closer. Right, so Adeyemi is winning this one so far. Gyökeres is second, Openda third, and nobody's interested in Sorloth. Dan's is a stone cold winner, said Kangai. Full-time result in the game at the bottom of the table, and it was Luton Town 1, Everton 1. That doesn't do all that much for Luton Town. I think it keeps them, 2 points off Forest with a game more played. So they need to start getting those wins now very quick. 2 games to go, I think, and draws aren't going to be any good for them. Barry, thank you for your super chat, Barry. Said, Craig, Openda is contracted until 2028 with an €80 million release clause, which can be triggered from 2025. Has looked a really great player. So I spoke about him a couple of times because, weirdly, I remember watching him a little bit when he was at Sevilla. Haven't really watched him when he's been at RB Leipzig, but I have seen the sheer amount of goals. When I'm checking in on results, you see his name on the score sheet a lot. I do like what somebody else in the chat said as well. Maybe he could turn out to be another Timo Werner, which isn't a bad show. But I can see why he's been mentioned, Openda. I think it's very fair for people to throw his name up. What ex-player do you hate? Owen is mine. What ex-player do I hate? El Hadj Diouf. I think that's comfortably the one I would dislike the most. Would I rather take Pedro Neto or Michael Elise? Elise, but both of them would worry me because of the injuries. But I also do really like both of them. Like, I think Pedro Neto's a great footballer. Love that he's got that little spark, that fire in his belly as well. Just his injuries would concern me. Enrique, said Andre Nielsen. Yeah, I've never been able to take to Enrique myself. I find him very cringy. Really happy that he's healthy. Let me say that. You know, what he went through was very difficult. But yeah, I've never been able to take to him. What do you think about Mohamed Kudus? I think he's brilliant. And he would be very near the top of my list of players that I would like to see Liverpool try to sign, although I've no idea how much West Ham would look for if indeed they were even contemplating selling him. Would I take Gibbs White? No. That attacking midfield next season is going to be excess. Next season needs Sabo, Gravenberch, Curtis, Elliot, Carvalho. I think Carvalho, I don't think he's going to get a chance, in all honesty. Just get the vibe that he's going to be sold. Weirdly, if we had have seen either Xabi Alonso or Ruben Amram come in, I think it'd probably be a much better chance for Carvalho. But I don't know if he'll get the opportunity in Slot's system, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm absolutely completely off on that one. Right, let's have a look. See. Right, so I think we can end this one because they're not going to catch up on it. So into the final is Adeyemi and Gyökeres. So we've got our final now, and before we finish up tonight, we'll do that last poll and we'll leave it running until the end. So, who are you buying? So the finalists are Adeyemi, Gyökeres, Watkins, and the last one was Isak, which I will spell correctly this time, hopefully. Is it double S or double A in Isak? It's double A, isn't it? Just to help me out so I don't look like a ticko again. It's double A, I think, isn't it? I do like Somerville for the record, said Barry. Oh, there's just, what? One A and one S? I'm very confused now. Okay, we're going to take out an A then. Right, anyway. There's the poll. So, who are you signing? The finalists are Adeyemi, Gyökeres, Watkins and Isak. Vote away. Who are you bringing to Liverpool Football Club? Isak has a level on Watkins, said Kangai. I think Isak would be a better fit for us. I think Watkins would be more of a United type striker, if that makes any sense. But both of them are very, very good. I keep coming back to this, but I remember when we spoke with Darren McAnthony a couple of seasons ago, even probably more than a couple of seasons ago, he was saying then that Liverpool should be looking at Watkins. Love the channel, said George. It's like my therapy. Thank you, mate. Appreciate you. Isak will go to Arsenal. I still find it weird, Philip, that he didn't go there in the first place, because before Newcastle signed him, he was linked with Arsenal, and I thought that he was going to end up at Arsenal. So maybe you're right. Shane said none of them. We can do better. We are Liverpool. We should be having a higher ceiling. I don't know who else there is in world football, mate, that is realistic as a centre forward. That, you've seen how much Arsenal have struggled to be able to find a centre forward. Even Chelsea, similar kind of thing. So I don't know that there are that many off the top of my head that are streets better than what we're talking about. Giant Gift said, happy with top 3 and a trophy in hindsight. No, I'm not. I can't be. I can't look at the way this season had the potential of going and being happy with it. Am I happy we're back in the Champions League? Yes. Am I happy we won the domestic cup and the Carabao Cup? It was better than nothing, but I said what I've said all along, and I can't go back on what I've said. If we finish this season without one of the 2 big ones, it's going to feel like a letdown, and it does. I feel a little bit embarrassed that we didn't win the Europa League, because I feel like we should be making a statement that, okay, we're in this for 1 year, but look, we're too good for it and go and win it. And we didn't. We lost to a decent Atalanta side, but no, I don't feel like it's good enough this season. I don't. I feel a little bit underwhelmed. Why is he trying to ring me when I'm on a stream? I don't know. Did you see you were in the Sidemen video today? Nope. No, I didn't. Do I only respond to my UK fans? Sean, in what world do you think I know where people are from, dude, when they comment? And I think I've responded to many different people, many different names tonight, mate, and I have no idea where anybody is from when they're commenting, so how could I possibly only comment? And they're not my fans, mate, they're mates. Was my phone ringing? Yes, for some reason Somebody was trying to call me, but I have it on reject. What a thick comment. It's just a weird one, like. I don't understand why anybody would think I even know her. Like, for instance, let's say... Right, Kyle Atkins, as an example, the name I picked out of the chat there. I've got no idea where Kyle's from. Or Philip Smith, no idea where Philip's from. Mikolaj, no idea where he's from. So it is a bit of a weird one. Will said, I'm from Sweden and you responded yesterday. I randomly just grab comments from the chat, mate. I don't really have a system or a preference. Hang on. Shane's from Jamaica. Lucky you. Lucky you. So, who are you buying? So far, Isak is winning this poll with almost half the vote. So, the Sidemen video, how was I in it? In what sense was I in that video? Because I'm always interested to see if people are trying to undermine me, slag me off, have a laugh at me, just out of interest, because I had no idea I was in one of their videos. Rodrigo in the summer. I'd love Rodrigo, but I don't know if we'll pony up that amount of dough. But I would like him. I think, he said himself that we could have signed him, and we nearly signed him for like 3.5 or 3 million euro before he decided to stay at Santos, and then of course he went to Real Madrid. Your Inside Men video title named The Worst Football Opinions on the Internet. Yeah, I think I'm okay with my football opinions, to be honest. Okie doke. I was in a video, The Worst Football Opinions on the Internet. Cool. Interesting stuff. Very nice of them to go around just shitting on people's opinions, but fair enough. I mean, we're there to be judged, I guess. The irony of those lads talking about somebody else having a worse football take, but it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? I don't mind. At least my name's been spoken about. That'll do. We sold Salah. What would be the lowest price you think Liverpool would accept? 85? 80, 85 maybe? Have I ever thought about making a podcast? Yes, I have. I love the idea of a podcast, and it probably is something that I'd like to do in the future. It's just making sure I have the right time to do it and stuff. Why would he tell you that you have great opinions? I don't mind, honestly. Look, I look at it this way. Sidemen are absolutely free to make any videos they want about anyone whose football opinion is put on the internet. And my opinion is put on the internet. I don't know any of the lads, never spoke to any of the lads. But look, we're here to be judged. And if they dislike my opinions on something, that's fine. I'm not going to take it to heart. As I've said many times, my daughter's a huge fan of their work. I don't know the guys personally, but I'm comfortable enough with my own football opinions that whether somebody agrees with them or disagrees with them, I'm comfortable enough in my own skin, and I'm comfortable enough on my knowledge of football. So it is what it is. It's all good. It's all good. I'm not going to take any offence by it or anything like that. It is just, it's nice to be spoken about, I guess, in one sense. I mean, I'll take that as a win. Craig, I think Trent should be the next captain. What do you think? I prefer Maka. I would prefer Maka. But I have seen a big improvement in Trent this season from a leadership perspective. Right. This poll is pretty conclusive. I mean, I didn't think it would be this wide, but most of you guys are very, very firm in your belief that you think Isak is the guy if we were to go out there and get that. They were reacting to a video of you saying Henderson's better than Scholes. Jesus Christ, that's what, 5 years ago? And that was a clear wind up to United fans on an 888 Sport video I did. Wow. I mean, fair enough. I mean, it is an out there take, I'll give you that one. But I felt like that was explained many times. Again, as I said, I don't take offence by these things. Unless somebody comes on and says, that Anfield Agenda lad's a right asshole, he's an idiot, he's horrible, then I'll take offence. But opinions are there to be judged and have fun with, and I've no problem with people using clips of our content to make content or anything like that. It's all good. I don't take offence by it. Yeah, it is what it is. Maka can't be captain, not a loud or outspoken guy, he's a very shy person. I think though he could, Shane. I think he could lead by example on the pitch. Do you know what? Maybe, did you see how devastated Maka looked after the last game? I don't know. I maybe it's just because I have a soft spot for Maka, but I think he could be a decent captain. But I think it's all a moot point anyway. Because I think Virgil will still be the captain if he stays at the club. I hate United. Do you agree? No, I don't hate United. I dislike United from a sporting context and always want them to lose. But I've said this before. On a personal level, United fans more often than not have been very fair to me. I respect Manchester United as an institution, as a football club from a sporting rivalry perspective. So I wouldn't say the word hate, but I dislike them because I don't want them to ever win a game of football. But hate is a strong word. Strong word. Look, I will say this. It's the fixture I look out for when they come out every year. You know, it's that game for me. That's the one that I look at. And that's the why you see some of my most over-the-top, angry, critical reactions have been when we played United. Because that game we drew with them, I lost the plot. I was saying sell Salah, sell Darwin. Because it means more to me when we play United. It does. I think Gertruda and Hincapié is a must, said A5DE. Gertruda looks like one that there could be a bit of truth to. So yeah, we will of course keep an eye on that situation. I really don't know though what to expect in this window. I just want to get the announcement with Slot done and obviously see out the season with Jurgen, and then hopefully we can start looking ahead to what we're going to look like next season. That Arne Slot video that I recorded, kind of the everything you need to know about, that should be out tomorrow evening. On this poll, we can end it because with 47% of the vote, you guys said that you would like to sign Alexander Isak if you could sign any forward for Liverpool. Simon Jordan thinks City should keep their titles if found guilty because Chelsea did the same thing. I would prefer if they're found guilty, and again, I don't know where Chelsea's 115 charges were or any of their charges that came from football rules at that point, but I would rather nobody got the titles for those years. I would rather an asterisk on those years that gave a little explanation in the footnotes as to why no titles were awarded that year. Because I certainly know I wouldn't want them as a Liverpool fan if they were stripped from them. So I would think rather than let them... I mean, I don't really... For me, it's just more a case of looking out for the league. I don't really... how do I phrase this? I just don't want this to be a situation where, once again, money, power, and influence alter the facts. If they prove beyond any doubt that they are absolutely innocent, fair play. I'm just concerned for football in general, particularly English football, with the way it seems to be going in some directions. There's not enough for me this season, anywhere near enough criticism of the officials this season from those in the media. I think that they seem to be able to get away with awful performance after awful performance, and we're just all told to suck it up as football fans. So I think the PGMOL have a lot to answer for. I think IFAB and FIFA are leading the game down a road I'm not happy with. I think football and the finances of it are becoming grubbier and grubbier. And I hope that we don't see a situation where the Premier League stays as this, almost nailed on City winning stuff. Because I personally don't think they got to that position all above board. And it doesn't really matter to me what the 115 charges says, because it won't change my perception. But that's just my take on it. It just feels like I'd like to get back to just watching football, and talking about football and not finances or geopolitical stuff or accountancy or we're football fans. I just want to watch and enjoy the product of football without feeling like it's being tainted or destroyed by pen pushers. As a Liverpool fan, would you keep Jurgen Klopp as manager next season if I had the choice? I don't know, man. Probably, but I would have more concern than I had in recent years. I've so much respect and admiration for Jurgen that I don't think I can ever utter the words "I'd want Jurgen out." So I feel like the way it's come about is probably the best outcome for legacy and for saying goodbye. It was his decision. The club didn't push him into that decision. The club didn't sack him. The players, the dressing room didn't turn halfway through a season. So I feel like it is, as sad as it is to say goodbye, I feel like it's probably the right way to say goodbye. Right, my friends, I'm going to say goodnight to you. I'm going to go and watch some TV, and tomorrow is my day off. So I will see you guys at 3:30 on Sunday for the watch along of the Spurs game. We're going to obviously have our watch along, match reaction, player ratings video, all the usual stuff. Do go over and check out the Anfield Agenda Clips channel if you haven't already. And thank you to everyone tonight who commented, who hit like, who sent super chats, who gifted memberships. Brian, Mark, Barry, thank you all so much. To everyone that sent in super chats and stuff as well. Really appreciate you. And have a great weekend. I'll catch up with you guys on Sunday, where hopefully we get a good result against Spurs. Talk to you then. Bye-bye.